Hey, Orange One here. So we're gonna start back up with the series. This is the first time we're going into the Dead City. I am adding in audio after the fact, and I just realized that the volume's kind of quiet in the game because it's getting quieted down twice basically. So I'm not doing that this time. So these next few episodes, I don't think there's going to be a lot of commentary because it's going to be mostly this dialogue and stuff.
The bridges are undamaged, and the radiation's climbing like crazy. I think there'll be no nutcases this time.
The houses are undamaged too. Sam, what's with the radiation?
8 times higher than in Moscow and still climbing, Colonel. I think we better not stay outside for too long here.
Are you ready, Artyom?
I think we're ready.
Follow me.
Good luck. Rely on us.
It looks just like Moscow does in the old games, you know? Plus some better effects. I just saw this morning that they added in the new game mode. And I want to play that myself.
Looks more complex than we thought. Still, time is short, so we're taking the direct approach. Let's refresh the plan. Yermak, we'll take the Aurora south to the Sibirskaya cargo station. I marked it, Stepan.
Krist, Sam, Idiot, and I will handle the Institute building in Akadem Gorodok. Hopefully a visit to the Railroad Museum on the way. There might be something
Alyosha.
for the Aurora.
I'm staying to guard the Aurora with Tokarev.
Good. Artyom and I are checking the Institute's main building. Radiation is way too high here, so we'll try to get there through the metro. Well, let's get to it. Good luck, Spartans.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Do you recognize that music? Because I do. That's, I believe, the music from the first Metro game, like one of the first chapters.
Are you going out on a mission to save Aunt Anna?
Yes. Could you please watch over her for us until Artyom and I come back? Please?
Of course. Teddy and I will be her guard. Will you help me, Teddy? Private Teddy mission acknowledged.
You know, the guitar gets played, Teddy is, you know, there, and probably in the background as well. But what about that jug of water?
Shh. She's sleeping. Are you leaving?
Yes. I hope we'll make it in time.
Anna is strong. She'll be here for you. She definitely will. Just make sure you come back.
Thank you, Katya.
Come in, Artyom.
So she's like, yeah, Dad, you shouldn't come in and see her, but
Yeah, Katya.
husband.
I did my best. So you don't have to worry. Her pulse is strong. She's just exhausted. She'll probably sleep till tomorrow now. Come back soon. Seeing you would be the best medicine.
Do you see the typo there on wood? There are the occasional typos like that. Like, I think the bandits, instead of saying that, is TAT.
Thank you.
Do you see that gun?
Artyom, this is no Moscow where you could loiter outside for months. Who knows what monsters live here? So think well what to pack. I'll be waiting at the car.
It's basically the Metro Exodus version of the BFG.
I cleaned your guns and put all the ammo and resources we had left in here. You're going to need it.
Oh man, I've been really enjoying playing with the Helsing, which reminds me, I was saying how I'm excited about the New Game Plus mode because you can bring any gun back to any level and use it. So what I'm thinking of doing is trying to bring back the Helsing and just doing some stealth videos where I go back and clear out some places. If we can have a 6-barrel of it, you know, makes it a lot, I think it was a lot less stable. I think that'd be worth it, you know, like a stealth playthrough. So that I think is one of the things I'm gonna do when I'm done with these Let's Plays, is just do some cool stealth videos. You know, I was a little bit disappointed with the turnout that I got from these videos, but those of you that are with me, thank you for being with me. I'm hoping those stealth gameplay will get a little bit more views. We'll see. On these, I've kind of given up on even doing like thumbnails, like special thumbnails. I just do what YouTube recommends. And honestly, I like the look of them because they do a good job with that.
You ready? We are. So, Artyom, here's your chance. Our last chance to save Anna. We must make it count. Settle up.
So the car looks a lot better now, you know. Now that's all padded up. The windows are pretty open.
I'll be busy watching the road. It's not squeaky clean, I'm sure.
I'm not sure how useful it would be to cover up the car this much and then have the windows be this big, you know. They should do like the Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead and just set up some cameras on the outside and have a little screen on the inside. I don't know if we have access to any cameras. Is there even a single camera in this game? It's kind of weird.
All those carriages stuck here. A failed evacuation, I presume. Let's try to get into the square behind the station. The metro entrance should be there. All right.
Just in for the ride, huh?
Would be easy, but we should minimize our exposure. So here goes nothing.
God, I got so much anxiety watching him do this.
So, how did you find the road to your dream? Do you wish we never set out? I can see that. Well, let's put those feelings away for the moment, Artyom. We can handle this. I think we can get out through there. Hold on.
I don't know, this seems like a really good way to get stuck. Are you kidding me? It looked like we had hardly even enough clearance on the top there. I'm surprised Miller's such a good driver. I mean, he's been stuck in a metro for 20 years, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, let me just pick this back up, and...
That's a lot of cars. The army had the traffic blocked. The town got hit smack in the middle of evacuation. We're definitely not entering the metro through here. Too much snow. Take the wheel, Artyom. I'll handle the navigation. We'd better use the map here. No time for driving in circles. All right. The map puts the metro entrance quite close to our position.
I love this game, but the driving does feel real awkward.
This road should get us to the city center. Take it, but keep looking around. There might be a way into the metro on the way.
I wonder if there. I think I missed the way into the metro that he's talking about.
So much snow. And this storm is getting worse by the minute.
I wonder what you can find if you go so early.
The buildings are intact, but the city is dead. Don't you think Moscow was better, eh?
So the thing that I don't understand is like the air filtration in this thing, you know, because I don't think we've got a gas mask on at this time.
All right, okay.
Maybe we do,
All right, there's nowhere else to go.
but the filter's not being worn out. I bet.
On the
I
left.
guess it's best not to ask too many questions, you know.
Don't rush it. We're done for if we get stuck.
Says the guy who just went through a building.
Go straight here. Careful, Arthur. Careful. The weather's still getting worse, as well as the radiation. We can't stay here. Turn left. There. That way should take us back to the main road. God damn it! Another car fire! Seems like a tank passed through here. Let's follow it. Damn. I hope the car could take us further. We'll have to walk from here. And we'll have to be quick. The radiation's rising. The killers won't last long.
And the filters seem to last a set amount of time, but he is right, if the radiation's worse,
Let's go! We have to move or we're done for!
it would pull on the filtration systems more. I don't know, it seems pretty loud. You probably can't even really hear me that well over it. The snow effect isn't quite as good as in Red Dead Redemption, you know. In that game, when you're in the snow, you see a whole trail of where you've walked. So we're kind of stuck at this point. I was kind of confused because Miller was pretty far behind us. Seems like a good way to cause a avalanche, sliding down like that, huh?
Let's find a way to the city center. That's what I call a cave-in. Got any ideas on how we get into that tunnel?
Good old Metro Exodus, where they make you try and figure something out, right? And you don't make it particularly clear either. I mean, it looked to me like I should go on that train car, but it didn't let me. What if the game just ended like this, like you're just stuck in a hole with Miller? That's the real ending. Because this is just insanity, what we're doing. Like, it's cool for dramatic story purposes.
It's still in one piece after all.
And I've voiced my opinion before. I'm sorry, Anna. This is such a dumb plan.
Let's do this.
And here's another weird thing. All these bodies have been like totally frozen. And it's like, how long has the has it been?
Skeletons all around. These have been here for at least 20 years. Let's move on and keep your eyes peeled. These guys can't hurt us, but the survivors might. We need to get to the Lenin Square station. The Institute is a stone throw from there. The metro isn't very deep here, and with the radiation so high, the locals probably didn't last long. It's a bit safer down here, though we've already taken at least triple the norm up there. The tunnels. This is just like back home. We're in our element here.
I think it's safe to say that everyone in this game is gonna die of cancer. Like, I'm kind of surprised that Miller is even still walking around, you know?
What do you know? The air is breathable.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. I never understood that. Like, why is the air in the metro breathable? And it's got ventilation systems.
Mutants again. Going to have a go at us. Let them try, I say.
But, like, could it really be completely airtight?
The straightway is blocked. Take a look around, Artyom. We need to get into the tunnel next to ours. Take this! Are you okay? Good. Whoa! Incoming! Get ready!
Sorry, that was kind of a weird cut. I think that I cut it at the right place, but I'm not sure now. I think this is the first time we see these dudes. You know what I thought when I saw these dudes? Was mole people, right?
These are probably related to the mutants from back home. This metro is crawling with them.
They're not Nosalises. I wonder what they're called.
What do these things even mean?
It's a good question. The ecosystem of this world confounds me. Like, as a biologist, I love these games, but I'm like, this doesn't really make sense, you know? But then again, you know, what I was also thinking was there'd be way more plant life in a place like this. Maybe not underground, but like in the city there'd be tons of plant life. Because if you've ever seen Chernobyl, there's a lot of things that are growing there. I mean, it all dies younger, but
You might find something useful.
just because things are dying of cancer doesn't mean they don't live long enough to reproduce, you know? Actually, it would have selective pressures to make things reproduce sooner, if anything. I mean, Chernobyl's been like that for a while now, and things are still relatively similar to how it was beforehand.
Mikhail, Fedorov from the Section 20 here. Look, our filters are complete trash. And on Sibirskaya, they will replace this autumn. Could you let my kids stay at your station? People from their school are there too. I can't, Nikitich. The military are in charge here now. They don't let anyone in. But don't worry, they're going to start handing the radio protector out. Am I supposed to give that green shit to my kids? Don't give me that. The green stuff is better than any filter.
So it sounds like people survived, huh? Using the stuff that we're gonna give to Anna.
The bridge is down. There are usually 2 levels in such collectors. Let's try to get through down there.
Now I know, Earth, you were saying that it was so weird to have having the Metro game be set in a desert. I hope that you're feeling a little bit more comfortable now, because this looks much more like the old games, huh? It's just a bunch of like sewer rats back in our element.
Seems rather shallow.
Not gonna be good for our guns though. Did you see that on his wrist? Oop, and that thing on the ceiling. Reminds me of the things in the library. Those little tentacle things, you know?
There's something in the water. We'd better get out.
God, I hate going into the ocean because of this exact reason. You can't see what's right next to you in the water if you're looking above it. Even in this water, looking down, you won't be able to see much. Do you ever watch this game and just think like, God, it must smell so bad in there? And it's either gonna be radiation or E. coli that kills them all, you know? That looked like to me like a hidden location, but I couldn't get in there, so.
And here are the locals. Reminds one of that execution pit in Moscow, doesn't it? 8,000 kilometers later, and we're at an execution pit again. I wonder if they were called spies too.
It's so brutal, this game. Well, we can read about them, see if they were called spies. Rioters. So not spies, but they were rioters. What's interesting is that they've all got the W on their masks. It kind of reminds me of that Walking Dead faction. There's the W's on their heads, the wolves. I think it was wolves, right? The anarchists.
These people died a year ago at most. There might still be survivors. Stay at the ready. Come up and watch out. Lucky as always. This isn't our metro. There's nobody to help us here if anything happens. You break a leg, you crawl back to the Aurora alone. I can't turn back before I find that medicine.
Love is a crazy thing, right? Makes you do things that don't make sense, like
just watch where you're going from now on, eh?
abandon the sole reason that you're even still alive. It's almost like, I don't know, I get Miller's motive, but it's almost like they don't want you to like Miller, because he clearly doesn't.
Let's see.
I mean, he does care for Artyom, but
Seems solid enough. Let's go.
But then again, he is fueled by his regret about his wife, so it kind of makes sense that he's just...
outskirts. Wait, I'll pop a flare. Damn, this was war after all.
Makes you wonder what the metro's like right now. Back in Moscow.
They'd been defending with these armored trolleys, and when those were taken out, they blew the tunnel up. The reinforcements never arrived. Let's go to this station. We might find something out there.
I was trying to check out their gear, see if we could recognize a symbol on there, but at least there's no swastikas or, you know, hammer and chisel.
I feel strange.
If you've played the old games, you know exactly what's coming up. You gotta love that dynamic lighting. So it seems like there's all these little children next to all the soldiers, you know? I wonder if those little boys are the soldiers. Or maybe they're just checking them out, I'm not sure.
Another grave. This is where the battle ended. Let's check that gate out. It should lead to the next station. What was that?
Oh, sorry about that weird cut. They got me. But I knew where they were. I thought we'd like taken them all out and I couldn't figure out what Miller is shooting at right now. Sometimes the AI in this game can be a little bit bizarre. But now that I know what's going on, there's one of these mole people underneath the bodies, but I just couldn't see them. I thought maybe he was shooting up and over, like there was an area that we couldn't get to. I think because we shot the ones that were laying down, it kind of like interrupted the cutscene. And so the ones that were laying down never got up, but you can see them right there. There we go. So that triggered the next I'd rather have them jumping at Miller than me, you know?
That was close. Damn it. I thought I was seeing things again. The dead rising. We walked right into their lair. At least we're alive. Let's open that gate.
If this is their lair, it makes you think maybe they were eating these people. But for the last year, you know?
Come on.
What's happening is that they're probably either eating mushrooms or other things that eat the mushrooms. Or like the algae, or something that eats the algae.
That's enough. Let's go.
You can really tell that they've reused some of the assets from the old games.
This is Sibirskaya, a line transfer station.
God, you gotta love the look of the Helsing. That looks like the BFG to me, when it's like that. Don't you think? I don't know, I didn't really play the old Dooms, but I played the 2016 one, and that looks like the BFG, like, almost exactly.
See those cylinders? Chlorine. The bastards just gassed the whole station. Hence the hecatomb. They sure didn't joke around here.
Pretty messed up, huh?
Damn! Cut off again! We're not opening that gate for sure. We'll have to go back to the service tunnels. Follow me.
Miller really seems to know his way around this area, which is crazy.
So, people here did survive for some time. We never had any communication with Novosibirsk, but assumed they had jammers too. After the bombs fell, the defense committee decided that hiding was our only chance to prevent new attacks.
God, we have so much ammo.
So much dust. Abandoned a long time ago. Yes, we lied to the people of Moscow. But how else were we supposed to band them together, protect them? Dead men can't enjoy freedom. Look around here, Artyom. You might find something useful.
Well, you know what the other people did in this game is they turned them into religious fanatics. You could have done that in the Moscow. I don't know. And you kind of did. By lying to them. Spinning some story that they all will believe and blindly follow. I did see there was a book there that I missed back on the right side, but I didn't realize that till just now. I do think the night vision helps with scavenging a little bit. Makes the books a little bit harder to spot, but you can see all the nooks and crannies. That looks like one of those generators, huh, that you usually dump fuel into, but they don't have you do it.
All of the metro systems were built similarly, so there should be a ventilation well.
Do you see that, little shrimp babies? Right there, on the ground.
All right, If we move forward from here, we should get into the ventilation tunnel, and from there to the next track tunnel.
Yeah, this is much more like the old games. It's like totally linear.
Piece of Did you hear that? Weapons at the ready. Hey, that grate is loose. Check it out, will you? Check that pipe. Wait! Come on, I'll give you a boost. Follow him. Good luck.
Nothing like a good old dramatic chase, right? This is like what the second kid in the whole game. Well, actually, no, that's not true. In the Metro, there's a couple kids back in Moscow. But besides Nastya, this is like the second kid we've seen since we left the Metro. I'm pretty sure. Gotta have that dramatic music. Though you know that you really have just as much time as you really need. Oh, I got so confused here.
He didn't run through here, I've noticed. Check that side out. I'll have a look here. There's nothing to fear. We just want to talk.
I don't know, he's in a subway that all we've seen so far is just skeletons. I think it's safe to say that being cautious is probably a good thing. So he said check out this side. So I thought he meant out here. No, that's not what he meant, but it's really unclear as to where you need to go.
Come out, boy! You're not hiding! Nothing to be afraid of!
It says to go like over here, but you can't really go up. I thought maybe, okay, maybe we need to go up. You do that a lot in these games.
We know you're here!
Where do you think they want us to go?
Come out, boy! You're not hiding! Nothing to be afraid of!
I get so confused with the map if we just need to get the red to line up with the green dot, but no, that means that towards that green dot and the red arrow is where we need to go.
Hey, we know you're here!
Kind of weird that you can check that out, but you can't actually loot anything. Here we go.
Whoa! Grab him, Artyom! Stop! Where do you think you're going? Finally. Why did you run? Come on, speak up, soldier. Identify yourself.
Private Kirill Klebnikov, Oscar, Rapid Response Unit. And you won't get another word from me, so you can kill me now.
All right, Private. We mean no harm to anyone. Just take us to your commanding officer.
What do you mean no harm? I'm from Moscow. Aren't you with them?
Them? Yeah, I don't know who you mean by that. But if they kill children, we're definitely against them. So, you can take us to your commander.
Why do you want to see him?
We're on an important mission, details of which may only be disclosed to ranking officers. You just
Such a
have to
liar.
take us to them. Besides, you don't really have much choice.
All right.
No monkey business, mind you.
This is why kids don't trust adults. It's because they just lie to you just to manipulate you, right?
This way. The station's nearby.
Which station is it?
Which? It's Prospect, of course.
Just one section to the Institute. We're close, Artyom. Wait.
You know, it's funny because he's got his like fancy gun that he got, but I don't think I've seen him use it at all.
You're close. But why do you need the Institute?
You are persistent. We're on a mission, but that's all I can tell.
Mission to the Institute? But there's no more green stuff left there.
Green stuff. What's that?
You don't know? Wait, which station are you from?
Artyom is from the exhibition, and I'm from police.
Huh? Where's that?
It's in Moscow, soldier.
Wait,
Damn!
give me a boost here, please!
Oh, so these actually are no silences. I didn't recognize them. Oh yeah, we've got the Helsing, and I had an explosive bolt there. I wanted to try this out. You know, I figured we haven't really used this in the metro area. But I bet it's pretty efficient, seeing how I was one-shotting all humans. It's hard because I'm trying to conserve our battery use. See one shot.
Let's see how you like some of this!
And then you can just go pick it back up. Isn't that nice? I probably should have gone the 6-shot one on here, but I didn't. See, it's just a one-shot on all these guys. Yeah, if we had that 6-shot, we'd be fine.
You like it, huh?
Oh, Miller. I think we made it through the first time on that one. Which is a challenge on Ranger Hardcore.
Look at them run, just like old times. And we're done here. Private Pletnikov, you can come out now.
I don't know if I would come out. Yeah. I would run if I was him. We got about 10 seconds left, so I'm gonna sign out here. Thank you for joining me. This has been Orange One.